Howdy doody everyone, I'm Mr. Poacher2 back and back at you with another commentary. This one is gonna talk about Marvel movies. how do I even describe Marvel movies nowadays? It's like, I really don't know. Because it's a weird aspect to talk about them. Like really cringe, but this is just commentary, so we're gonna do this, alright? You don't like it, you don't have to watch it. So Marvel movies in general, I think as a kid watching Marvel movies was kind of exciting because superhero stuff, and I'm more of a fan of that because superheroes in general, stuff like that. And I was a big fan of Spider-Man back in the day, so Spider-Man, well, I'm a big fan of Deadpool, mainly. Duh. I think you could tell. I think you could be an aspect. I'm a fan of Deadpool. I don't know how you could not see that. I mean, there's a few things here and there, not too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. But here's the thing about joking about Marvel movies. It's so weird to talk about it now more than before. Before, it was fun because I was a kid, and superhero movies, because superhero movies, I wouldn't think they were generally bad, that they were just superheroes, they were fun. But as you grow up to see all these movies, it's kind of hard because it's kind of just jarring in the way, especially ever since Marvel's been like, because of the Disney buyout and everything, and they became more generalized into like a whole children's group because they had to be selling a lot of merchandise and product for Disney because but to really really see that aspect of Marvel in a way, and especially now even with their movies, how it affects them, it's really rough. And especially because the whole idea of thinking about beyond Marvel, and the aspect of thinking of director has creative freedom to actually express the way they can actually make a movie, it's not as much as you would think, mainly because you can see that a lot of even good directors are halted because of some restrictions to be on scripting and stuff like that, because they have to go pass through not only themselves but also Disney's whole shtick and stuff like that, keep everything to a quota or something like that. And regardless of whoever they are, I mean, there are sometimes where it can work out and they can actually make it work, and other ones they don't. It's really the aspect of asking, what do you generally want of this movie genre? And here's the thing, I'm not going to say for a fact that Marvel movies are cinematic masterpieces. No. I will never die on that hill. They are just superhero movies, and that's it. That's all they need to be. And you know what? They can just be how they want to be on that, and they can die on that hill, because I don't think they're gonna go too much beyond that. I mean, they have been trying for sure, and there have been a bit impressive ones, to say the least, but generally speaking, I don't know if they're gonna break past that whole superhero genre aspect of it. Definitely other movies have tried it, but just saying Marvel movies in general, which most likely they're not gonna do, at least too expressively, mainly because the main movie series franchise, I guess, is gonna be centering around superheroes in general, because that's a better aspect of selling point for children who are gonna look up to these superheroes and buy more shit. So I don't think they're gonna ever explore anything beyond that, unless they will try. They're trying to do something with the whole lifeline aspect of stuff like that. But here's the thing, when you have a limited time, especially with actors and stuff like that, you have to generally realize that the character will last, but the actor who plays the character won't. So you're gonna have to find the aspect of whether you can try to rebrand this character that you're shooing in, but mainly for the actor. And it's the whole thing with that makes the whole thing sour, because it's you're doing these characters, but the actors who play these characters generally then become the character, and people expect that actor to play the character, and if they expect that, then you're not going to be able to really expand beyond just that part of a character. And that's why the reason why I say that is, talking about Marvel movies, is because especially nowadays, where already actors already been leaving the roles of Marvel characters in the movies, and already been leaving the Marvel franchise in general, and especially as it keeps continuing on, you're not gonna get that same aspect of watching these movies, especially if you're a fan of one of these actors playing one of these characters, because either A, they just left the franchise in general, or B, they're dead. There's no other way to go around that. They're dead. So there's no way that they're gonna come back and play the role. So in general aspect, you're just gonna either have to accept them progressing the role as in like the comics do, and they change the roles and characters to be different characters, or just accept the fact that a new actor is going to be playing the role. And that itself is kind of rough to ask, because out of respect for the actor who did play the role before, generally you don't want to replace the character for respect of the actor, and that's a lot to ask for, mainly because for the companies that make the thing who want the money, they don't want to do that. That's why it's easier to do animated series of anything, because you can change out voice actors almost all the time. I say almost all the time because once a voice actor gets really popular with a character, you would generally, expect that voice coming out of that character, because that's the voice you'll always hear them say and play with, because you'll generally say, oh, if I want this character to be played, I want this voice actor, because everyone recognizes that voice for that voice actor. And it's rough, but a good example, of course, is the Batman animated series. And yeah, it's let's talk about that more next time, but also rest in peace. But yeah. But it's the same thing what happening with Marvel in generalization, and saying like the way they want to play off this whole way they want to do Marvel movies. It's a rough place right now for it. It's not like a bad place for it, but still like not the place where they want to be. And I'm in a place with it where I'm okay with it. I'm still enjoying the Marvel movies, but I'm not taking them anywhere past that whole genre of superhero movies, There are some exceptions, but they're still on that aspect of being, oh wow, this is a superhero movie, and not like, oh my god, this is a fantastic movie, or like I love watching, or something like that. It's not going anywhere beyond that. I wish it did, but for the realistic aspect of talking about cinematic masterpieces or anything like that. I hate that word, but that's the only word you could truly define, besides, just saying, hey, this is not cinema. Peak cinema. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. So it's kind of hard to talk in that aspect of saying if a Marvel movie can really hold up to that standard. And realistically, it can't. It really can't. It won't. So, for a director to be held up to those standards and try to make a Marvel movie that, it's kind of hard. It's not impossible. Definitely not impossible. We've seen a lot of Marvel movies push the envelope far enough to actually look like they're actually going to be in a legit movie, but it's kind of hard. Again, I say hard, mainly because they have to keep that aspect of a superhero still alive in the movie. So, because of course Disney needs to be able to sell merchandise off the movie, they can't just make like an emotional standpoint movie with no general idea of like who's gonna be important or not. Because if they did do that, like merchandise wise, hey, how are they gonna buy this guy or this guy or this guy or this guy wasn't like generally the big thing or whatever, which yeah, it's hard to say that, but then again, you have to realize that also that if people like a character, they're just gonna like that character, because like eventually even Disney over time has to learn that people like characters, and they like the character for the character itself and how they are acting and like how they are actually written in a story, and people will like a certain character for those aspects, and if they like it, then they will actually support that character and maybe buy merchandise if they really enjoy the fact how a character acts in a certain story and stuff like that. So it really, for me, it's kind of rough to say that if one day Marvel movies are gonna be beyond anything beyond like superhero genre in general, but I do enjoy them. If you want me to state my rankings for Marvel movies, however cringy that is, I guess I could say it, but if you guys want to see it, go ahead. I'll make a video out of it, I guess. You know, and since I'm talking about Marvel movies, I guess we can talk about DC movies in the next video. So, wait until then. Anyway, I'm Mr. Paul G2, and I'm signing off.